Many of us have or will experience a moment of 3 a.m. motivation at some point in our lives. Whether we stayed up late or woke up in a panic, feeling like our life is falling apart, that sudden urge of motivation telling you to get your life together, to clean your messy room, or to finally start that book, whatever else it might be. The sad part is that we usually never take action. I asked some of my friends, reflected on myself, and realized the reason we don't take action is because it's often far too overwhelming. How would I know where to start when writing a book if I had never wrote one? The issue is that we try to take it on all at once, rather than taking more minor compounding actions. Today, I want to break down how you can change your life and improve yourself. Here's a hint: it won't happen overnight. You might have heard the saying, never take advice from someone in a position you don't want to be. Honestly, it makes perfect sense. Why would you want to take advice from a senior graduating from high school? Well, lucky you, you won't be. See, I spent a considerable amount of time researching what makes successful people successful, and I found a common denominator. They all started somewhere, and most of them, they started with nothing. You see, pretty much all of them were average people like you and me, and the vast majority didn't even do something special to become successful. For example, let's take a look at Quentin Tarantino. So, he is a movie legend known for his work, who was once an unknown average teenager working as a video store clerk, and he dropped out of high school at the age of 15. How did he transition from working a 9-to-5 job to becoming one of the best filmmakers of all time? His first film was released when he was 29, and it's pretty simple. Tarantino described his work at the video store as not his dream. He knew that he could do and achieve more. He too experienced what we call 3 a.m. motivation, except he did something different. According to Inc., he describes himself using this time to write down everything he was doing wrong. He told himself that he had to be brutally honest, everything he wished he could change about his life. And once he had all of his wrongs wrote down, he wrote down how he could fix them. The difference between Tarantino, me, and you is that he took action. Start today. Okay, so you want to take action, but what does that look like practically? For me, I wanted to be incredibly good at disc golf. In some ways, I achieved this. I became sponsored by Innova, the #1 disc golf manufacturer in America, earned real money, and made numerous friends, ranging from amateur to professional. I wasn't just instantly good though, it took real effort to get to that place. Let's take a look at my throw, which is about a month into me playing. So this shot went about 180 feet, and according to Larson from Green Splatter, within the amateur realm, 300 feet would be considered respectable. Wow, I was far from that number. Eventually, I hit over 500 feet consistently at my peak of playing, with my furthest throw being almost 540 feet. I worked on my form daily for almost a year to get to that position. I set up a camera, threw my disc, watched the video, noted what was wrong, and made the necessary corrections. I did this over and over, practicing drills to make my arm more level, only to have my foot be too far forward the next time I threw. Time and again, I noted what was incorrect and made the necessary corrections. At first, it was so overwhelming. I was doing so many things wrong. Taking action on one thing at a time made a major difference in my performance. This same idea applies to all aspects of life. So, what do you want to improve? Is it your messy room? Your writing skills? Do you want to improve your bowling skills for a league you have with your friends? Whatever it is, that answer is simple. Take note of what you're doing wrong and figure out how to fix it, and then start today. See, change and improvement are a compounding movement. You can't improve everything at once, and you can't change your life overnight. Think about a snowman. It doesn't just magically appear. You start by picking up a bit of snow, balling it up, placing it on the ground, and rolling it slowly. After a bit of rolling, you have your tiny snowball that becomes a massive base for the body. And then you repeat this process, stacking the following pieces on top of each other. This is similar to how you improve a part of your life. Taking these steps is important because one day, preparation will meet opportunity, and then we will have a breakthrough. If we, however, just wait for the breakthrough and do not prepare, we could miss our opportunity. We are often told we need to give everything 100%. However, I think we get confused about what this means. If I was to wake up with 30% in my tank and proceed to give that 30%, I would still give 100% of what I could, which means giving 100% is different every day. When you wake up tired, annoyed, and feeling like we only have 30% of our energy left to give, if we give that, that's all we had to offer. So giving that 30% is far more important than waiting for a day we have 100% to give. As Woody Allen said, 80% of success is just showing up. Let me reiterate that for you. 80% of success is just simply showing up. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that over half of the work for me to get what I want is just showing up? This is the best news ever for you and me. Because no matter what it is, we are already more than halfway there if we just decide to start. So, if it's as easy as starting, why do so many people, including myself, struggle to improve? Newton's first law of motion is known as the law of inertia. And according to NASA, this law states that an object at rest remains at rest, and an object in motion remains in motion at constant speed and in a straight line unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So, this is really cool for physics, but why am I telling you this now? Let's consider this law in the context of today's topic, improving and changing aspects of your life. If you have been doing something for a while, you will continue to do that thing unless acted upon by an outside force. The same is true if you've been doing nothing. You will continue to stay stagnant. What this means for you and me is that inertia is working against us. We want to change, but to change we have to start. And starting is the hardest part. We naturally want to continue doing what we've always done because it's easier. Now, we understand why it's challenging to begin, but what can we do to make that easier? Quentin Tarantino gave us just the answer we need. In my junior year of high school, I did a research paper on goal achievement. In conclusion, I found that people who wrote down goals, and even better, wrote down goals along with a step-by-step plan, were far more likely to achieve their goals. And Dr. Gail Matthews had a similar study that found by simply writing down aspirations, participants became 42% more likely to realize their dreams. I never fully understood why until now. See, I think the reason writing down goals works so well is because it serves as a starting point. We can trick ourselves into starting from something as easy as writing down what we want to do. Tarantino, whether knowingly or not, did this himself when he wrote down what was wrong and how he could fix it. An analogy I once heard was comparing improving yourself to that of a math problem. When you have a complex math problem, you need a pencil, paper, calculator to help you solve it. You have to write it down and work it out. The same is true for our life, which is far more complex. If we're not writing down our issues, there's no way we can plan to solve them. So, if you want to bring about change, we must start by writing down the change we want to achieve. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, Andrew, but what do I even write down? What do you mean by the change I want to achieve? Well, I think the easiest way to explain this to you is just to share my process. When I wanted to throw further in disc golf, I started by writing down how far I wanted to throw. Instead of a vague goal of just throwing farther, I gave myself the goal of 400 feet. And not only did I write down 400 feet, I also gave myself a timeline. I wrote it down that I want to throw 400 feet by the end of the year, and this was about late September. So I did not end up achieving my goal in that timeline, but I did throw further than 400 feet earlier into January. So give yourself a measurable goal and a dateline to get it done. Now that we know how to start, the only thing left to do is, well, start. So I must warn you, this doesn't mean the path will be easy. When working towards a goal, you won't always see the change until it's very obvious. For me, whenever I was learning to throw farther, I never really noticed those 3 to 5 feet until they added up. The same can be true for whatever aspect you wish to improve. While working towards our goal, we must remember that change doesn't happen overnight. Let's examine water. So let's say we were to heat up this water. Let's use the number 211 degrees Fahrenheit. If we were to heat this water up to 211 degrees Fahrenheit, nothing would change. The water would be exactly the same. If we, however, heated it up 1 more degree, it would begin to boil. This is why constant and small improvements are far more important than trying to tackle everything at once. It only takes that 1 extra degree to cause a significant change. Your breakthrough could be 1 degree away. Don't give up simply because you have yet to see a change. When we think about life we are living when we think about the life we are living versus the life we want to live, it can become overwhelming how far apart the two can seem. Eating an elephant can seem like an impossible task, but if you ate just a tiny piece every day, eventually that elephant would be consumed. By showing up, writing your goals out, and staying consistent, we can tackle any task, no matter how big or small. And while I'm not sponsored, Nike, if you are watching this, I love your apparel. I do believe Nike's slogan is one to live by. Just do it. Change doesn't come overnight. Start today. Thank you.